Woo! All right, what is going on, everyone? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro. Yay! And we are live in the middle of the biggest crash since scam, bank run, fraud. Holy smokes, there's blood in the streets, and this is historic. It is amazing. Totally amazing. So we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart and then look at all of our top favorite plays. Look at the projects that are holding strong and the ones that are capitulating. So we've got 6 people in the house right now. Thank you, yo boy, for doing the sound check for me. All right. So anyway, starting out with this Bitcoin chart. If you saw the last video update that I did, we talked about what is happening with the chart. I had this golden line, the ascending golden line. And during our last video, what did we talk about? We talked about the fact that after violating the descending green line, that the next 2 possibilities for the landing point of Bitcoin would be the 200 EMA or the ascending golden line. And you see that we wicked down to it, we held it for 3 candles and fell off on the 3rd. So the descending golden line, or rather the ascending golden line, has been violated. Holy smokes. And now we've got this ascending red line that is the next point that I said would be a possible landing spot. One of the 2 spots. We also have this blue baseline. And where did I get that ascending red line? Well, we look on the 1 week chart. And what do we see? We see the 50 EMA coming up. And this is an extension of that 50 EMA, which is now leveling off. So this is a confirmation that this EMA line is going to roll over. So that means that, I tell you what, folks, I think there's a possibility that the CME gap is going to fill and it might not hold at that point. Where is the CME gap? Well, sources say that it's at 77K, and I don't see anything on this 1 week chart that would just give us any confidence that that's going to hold. So then we would have to say that, all right, the highest possibility of the next point of rest for Bitcoin would definitely be the CME gap, 77K. That is our highest probability. And right now, as we're talking, we see that Bitcoin is wicked up just a little bit from the bottom. So it's kind of slowing the momentum. Let's jump back to the 1-day chart, and we see that this current 1-day candle does have a wick below it. So that says it's trying to slow down the momentum just a little bit, but we are headed towards this ascending red line, and that magically coincides with the CME gap. So that answers the question of where is the possible bottom point of the capitulation. CME gap has been talked about for quite some time, and a lot of people were saying that we would not go down and fill that gap. Well, guess what? We're headed for it right about now. Here we come. So that's interesting how the charts always play out. And as I always say, show me the chart and I'll show you the news. In other words, the news is not what creates the dip. It's the chart that's been telling us this for how long? We've been talking all month long, the entire month of February, about what? We've been talking about the second leg down. Now, Bitcoin teased us all throughout this consolidation period right here. And then we hit our head on the ascending green line. We got rejected. We went down. We came up to test it again. We hit our head, rejected the second time. We came down to the 50 EMA, came back up again for the 3rd time. You know what I always say, once, twice, 3 times a lady. We got rejected again. But after that red candle, we popped our heads above the line. And we thought, oh, okay, well, I guess the chart failed us. But it didn't, because after fooling around up here, we touched it once here. We went up. We touched it twice right here. All right. the wicks are below it, but the candle closes were above the line. Then we had the most boring week or two from February, let's see, the 4th all the way up until February the 23rd, where we had nothing but just straight sideways consolidation, sideways. And then we touched it for the third time. Once, twice, three times a lady. And what happened? We failed it. Happens every time. I mean, it's so predictable. And so I started to lose a little faith that the chart was telling the truth during this consolidation because we were just flying above the descending green line. But sure enough, we came back down, got right back down to that point, to the pivot point. The chart was not lying. And then we failed it. We failed it. So no matter what the news is, you always find out that the chart will play out as it is telling you it will. And here it is, right here. So while everyone was out there yammering on and on about Bitcoin just going to go straight up to the market cycle peak, what did it do? It did the opposite and it capitulated. Okay, so the chart told us, and here it is. We've been talking about it the entire month. It has played out, and now there's news to support what the chart was telling us. While the big mouths were saying that we're just going to bounce off of the green line and go straight to the moon, here comes the news as President Trump has slapped down some serious tariffs. And I tell you what, he slapped them good. Woo! He slapped them down good. And, when you're slapping down the tariffs, people panic. And when people panic, the price goes down. Okay, so he smacked that price down with the tariff action. And now we get our excellent opportunity here to accumulate some projects. Now, I don't buy Bitcoin. I don't even have any Bitcoin right now. I don't even know if I have a sliver. I don't have a Satoshi. I'm into alts. I want the big gains. I want the maximum gains. Of course, I'm the guy that bought Caspa at 0.0015. I was flipping it, swing trading it, ended up deciding to stop playing with it and just get in for the long haul. So at 0.004, I put all the gains back in and I left it sit. And I'm going to hold. I'm not the usual type of guy to just hold and sit on stuff, but that one's too big of a project with big implications. So I'm just holding it for the duration until the bull market peak. But the rest of the stuff that I hold, I'm swing trading. And of course, I've got a private group. We got a lot of swing traders. We like to make money along the way. And we got plenty of time to bust some serious swing trades and increase our gains before the bull run. And the bull run is when everything goes straight up vertically until you hit the market cycle peak, which I think will occur in November of this year. All right, so let's run down the big guys, and then we're going to look at some AI plays. We're going to look at the memes. We're going to look at base chain. Okay, so Ethereum, I took my ETH bag and I threw that into USDC. We were looking pretty here at 2,800. And then you see this red line? You see that red dashed line? I've been talking about the red dashed line since what? 2021. All right. And as we know, whenever you mess around with the red dashed line, there's usually a big capitulation that happens after that point. So we violated the red dashed line. We came back up, resistance again, and then it fell off right there. So somewhere around, I think, 2,500, I said, I've had enough of this. And I swapped out all of my ETH for USDC. I'm glad I did that because now we're sitting at 21.25 and dropping. Litecoin's holding strong. Actually, it's performing quite well against many of our other picks. It's been sitting in this long sideways consolidation pattern and has not had a capitulation yet. It's looking very, very strong. What's up? Edwin is in the house. Yay! Bitcoin is going to zero. Yes, sir. Bring it on down to zero so we can scoop up some Bitcoins, okay? We want these Bitcoins because Bitcoin is going to the moon, as the Hodge twins say. All right, so Litecoin is looking strong. XRP sitting at $2.03. And I think we're headed towards that 200 EMA line. I said it long before, several videos ago, that there's a possibility that we could hit $1.80 once we get into this zone here. It's possible that XRP could drop down to $1.30, somewhere around there, where I think it will hold at that point. We may not get all the way down that far. It could stick to this node at about $1.50, but we'll see. Now, Solana. We've been talking in the private group about Solana for quite some time, even after this great big run up here as it started to fall down. I said before this run, I think Solana is going to come back down and test $100. But once we got into December, I thought, it's still looking like $100. Mini rise, it came back down, and I thought this was the capitulation point, but what did it do? We bounced support off of the 200 EMA, and that's where it ran all the way to, I think that's the all-time high, $294. And then the sell-off happened, and now you see this death cross about to form as the 50 EMA is about to cross the 200. The 50 is the gold one. The 200 is the blue one. When that crosses, it's a confirmation. That's a bearish cross. But the death cross is actually a good signal because that means that most of the pain is already done. So scroll down here. Look at this. You see this support resistance zone? The top of the box is at 119. The base of the box is at $98. So we've been talking about this. We're now below the point of control price of 145 and it's falling. So Solana could end up going below $100, and that would be very, very nice. I will get a bag if it goes down that low. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Let's look at the Kaspa chart. Kaspa has violated this base level. I thought it would hold at 7.9 cents. Therefore, I think we're looking for this descending blue line that magically price could intersect this line at this bottom box that has a base level of 6 cents. If it violates that, we're looking at like 4 cents. I got to scroll way back here to get this base level box. In fact, let me just pull it over. I didn't think we would even have to consider this support and resistance zone ever again, but it just happens to go from 4.5 cents up to 5.1 cents. I might have to buy some more Kaspa at that point. I mean, I've got enough. I have 102,000 Kaspa, so I think I'll just enjoy that and watch it go down. But I tell you what, anybody that's missed on Kaspa, this is your last chance. I think this is our final big dip that we will see in everything, not just Kaspa. All right. One other one on the big list here, looking at XLM. I'm a big fan, and I think I'm going to have to draw another box here to show you where it could go. Here's the zone that I'm looking at, and it's touching on, wow, look at that. This is just like magic, guys. We are touching on this pivot point right now. So it's about to check down and enter into this box. And I think XLM, which mirrors XRP, I think this will be a better buy. Because if it jumps down to 19.8 cents, I think you're looking at the potential of a 10x run from that point. XLM, it's a proven project. It's solid. It has high use case. You can buy XLM and send it everywhere on its network for no fees. So that's great. All right, let's move on to a couple other projects. Look at some alts and look at some AI. XPR Proton. I had a bag that I bought way back here at 0.001415, and I sold it up here at 0.006 because I thought it was going to really capitulate, and guess what it did? It wicked all the way down to 0.0018, but then it just got snatched up too quick, and I missed that dip. I'm not going to buy it back unless we can get down to at least 0.003, but it's holding strong. It's fooling around with the black dash line, which is a very important support level from previous pivot points. Keep your eyes on that, but if we violate this line, if we fall off, which right now is looking very strong in the midst of all the blood in the streets, it's holding very strong. Now, ZBCN is a new one that I picked up. I called this one at 0.001, and it ran all the way to 0.002, and it's correcting. We'll wait and see if it can correct down to 0.0011 again. I might have to pick up a bag. Let's get on to the AI plays. Now, my favorite one is AI16Z, which has an ugly chart because of this huge pump in the beginning. I wish they'd just take that off of there so we could read the chart easier. But look what it's doing. Bouncing around in this support resistance zone, consolidation zone, with a base level of 26 cents. It's probably going to hold that. I mean, this is the most rock solid of the AI plays, in my opinion. And of course, you got all the people that say the AI plays are going to replace the meme plays in this bull run. And I'm not a believer in that. I don't see it. And now I'm starting to lose faith that the AI and AI agents are even going to be the 100x, runners whenever we get into the bull market. All right. Let's see here. Let me check on, hey, we got What's Up Fanuti in the house. Yay! OG Vault. Oh, that's my man. Give him a round of applause. That's one of my homies from the VV crew. Chris, good to have you here. Or that's not Chris. You are in the OG Vault family. Well, get Chris in here. Send him a message. Tell him to jump in and join us. Okay, so anyhow, let's look at some of these other AI plays that are on my watch list. The first one is Micro GPT. I bought Micro GPT 3 times. I started buying it at 2 cents. I rode it all the way down to the bottom. Did the DCA game. Had an average purchase price. I think it was somewhere around, let me look on let's see if I can pull up my trades here and tell you what I did with Micro. Here it is right here. Okay, so let's see if you can see this on my chart. No, you can't. It's not on the screen. My DCA price, I had brought it down to 1 cent. And then once we got down here and pumped up, I sold it right at the peak once it hit this descending resistance line. And that was perfect. I sold off at 1.9 cents. I'm going to wait for it. It's riding the line. Once it comes back down to this base level, I'll probably jump back in at 0.008. I like Micro GPT, which it's kind of like the Grammarly of coding. So that's a pretty good project. Now, another big project is AIXBT. And we see that it has dropped out of this support resistance zone, and there is a bearish cross about to happen on the 1 day. We're talking reverse price discovery. So I'm going to just watch AIXBT, and who knows, maybe it hits 10 cents. I might grab a small bag, but you're shooting blindly here because there's nothing on the chart to tell us where the base level is going to be. Now, one other small project I like is AI voice agents, and it is bombing right now. Okay, I don't have but a sliver of a bag. I bought like 10 bucks worth to use it as an index just to see how much it dips. I bought it a couple of weeks ago. It's also in reverse price discovery, sitting at the opening price. And if it goes down lower than that, I don't know where it's going to drop to. One more, Imagine AI. This is a neat project, and it is now at the base level of a 0.5 cent. Looking bearish, and if it falls out of that, we're also in reverse price discovery. So overall, I'm not impressed by these AI projects. Here's AI Pad, also in reverse price discovery. So I don't know, guys. I'm going to stick with what I know, and the memes are what is hot right now. I've been swing trading memes and just making money, and one of my favorites is Turbo. Now, what is going to happen with Turbo? Well, I just bought my lowest price. My first price of buying Turbo was at 0.0033, and I did a little swing trading. Then I bought again at 0.0032, and now we're at the top of this support resistance zone down here, and it's either going to hold at 0.003, and if it fails this resistance box, what's the bottom? What's the support level from previous pivots? It's 0.0019. If that happens, I'm getting a huge bag. I'm going to take a serious position in Turbo. I've only got, $100, a couple $100 worth of Turbo right now. But I'll get more serious about that if we violate this box. All right, moving right along. One of my favorite meme coins that I've been swing trading like a madman is Grok. So I bought Grok here at 0.0029. I sold it up here at 0.005, and now I'm waiting to get it again. And it's right back down here at the base level. And if it violates this price that it's at right now, it could go down to 0.0012, and I will be aping right on back in. So while everybody else says the meme project ain't gonna do anything this bull run, I'll be buying. So leave them alone. Let me buy it. I'll make my gains. We'll all be just fine. All right, Duco is another goofy one. And Duco, I tell you what, people can say what they want about Duco. It has volatility, and that's what I like. I've already been in and out of Duco many times over the last 3 years, and I'm going to do it again, but I'm waiting for it to come back down to 3 zeros and a 2. And there's not a real indication that we could absolutely get there. I don't see anything on the 1 day. Let's look at the 4 hour. It's kind of moving down, but it's side banding. All right. Even the 1 hour, it shows a crossover here. The stochastic moves up and down. The price doesn't move. So that tells us it's under consolidation. All right. Yeah. Consolidation is a good thing. Looking at the 1 week chart, kind of bullish, but if this crosses over, then we get that 3 zeros and a 2 price, and then I ape back in and write it again. What I like about Duco is they don't claim that they got AI or we got utility and a coin burn and all this bull crap. Go to the Duco website. They say we're a meme coin. That's it. It's fun. Buy it, sell it, do what you want. We're not going to fluff you up and fill your head with all this bull crap. It's just a meme. I like that honest approach. So I will be getting a bag. Next, Win. I've been buying and selling Win. I bought the last bag here at 3 zeros and a 7. Was that it? Or maybe it was a little bit lower than that, but I'll probably buy a little bit more as it is now in reverse price discovery below the bottom point. So is it going to hold here at this big volume node? We'll see. It's kind of holding right now, so we'll see what happens. Now, let me give you 2 other memes that I like. Popcat. For some reason, this one gets me. It's at 25 cents. The only reason I might get a bag of this is because when you go to the website, it's addictive. It's the funniest, stupidest meme I have ever seen in my life. So you got this cat, and it pops its mouth open when you tap it. And then they track how many pops there have been. And there's like 3 million pops. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. But I always go back and increase the amount of pops. That's just dumb. But it's in my head now. And because of that, I think I might buy a bag. If it comes down to maybe 20 cents, we might try that out. So we'll see. But it's not going to be a lot. I'm not going to gamble much on it. But it's fun. Here's another one that my eyes are on, and that's Ping, the penguin or whatever it is. Consolidating. We got a crossover about to happen here. But with the rising stochastic and the price going sideways, it could drop down a little bit more, but I like the price. And I like the fact that we got some good volume. And it's also another fun meme with a good website. And I think it'll be in for some very juicy gains. I'll swing trade it once the chart tells me that it can pop. Now, Myro. I've been reporting on this for a long time, and I'm not buying. Reason is, when you go to the Myro website, I'm going to show you something. Let's go to Myro. I always check on this. I think the developers have abandoned the project. But look at this, man. It's still got 9 million volume. Market cap is at 18 million. But when you jump to the website, here's the website. Watch what happens. Let's see. There it is right there. Can you guys see that? You see the transaction fee error. So they are not maintaining the website. Therefore, Myro is off the radar. It is now a dangerous play. Now, it could rebound. It could go back to 40 cents. Who knows? But the caution flag's up on that. So play if you may. There's a lot safer stuff to do, which includes Brett. Brett is about to bottom out. I am looking for 2.9 cents on Brett. This is a base chain meme. It's the first meme coin on the base chain. And I'd say it is a pretty safe play for the bull run. All right, so if we can get down to 2.9 cents, I'm interested in Brett. Let's look at the 1 week. Very weak on the stochastic, and we are back to a red solid bar on the histogram. We went light red, which said we're about to move back to the zero line. Now it flipped to solid red, which says it's still falling away. That means we could continue going down and revisit that 2.9 cents. Now, looking at a couple of other quick memes, we got Bonk. I'm not buying Bonk yet because it's in reverse price discovery. It's below the lowest support resistance zone, so I got to wait. Bohm is the same. Bohm is just tanking, but the volume on these memes is still super strong. So there's still, meme projects that I'm going to keep on the radar. All right, let's move on to the Coinbase plays. Swift Coin. I've got 100,000 Swift Coin, and I was going to double the bag at 0.004, and I didn't. I bought in at 0.002, and I was going to sell the whole bag and swing trade it. I was going to sell out at 4.5 cents, and I got scared. That was a bad move. So I should have unloaded, and I didn't. So what am I going to do? I'm going to wait and see if we touch on this box here, the base of this box. Could we come down to the 200 EMA and revisit a penny? If we do, maybe I'll pick up 50,000 more. I'm very bullish about Swift Coin. I have been for years. I bought this bag, I don't even remember, guys. It might have been like 2022. It's been at least 3 years when I started to accumulate on Swift Coin. And when I got on Coinbase, I was like, hey, this is a no-brainer. We're going to sit on this for the duration. Now, the next one that is sitting on Coinbase that a lot of people got played on is XCN. Yeah, so after I sold out at 0.002, I was like, you big dummy. It did this. It ran all the way to 5 cents, got rejected. And then once we were bouncing around in this area, after the big run, of course, we had the infamous guy. You can go back and look at the video and read the comments who said, XTN will never go down to 2 cents again. And here we are at 1.38 cents. What's possible here? XCN could go all the way down to the 200 EMA line. Now, it could find support at this point of control price of 1.2 cents. If it fails that, it's going down to 0.009. And at that point, I could buy a bag. But if it fails that, the bottom of the box is 0.008. If it fails that, I don't know, guys. I don't know. It could go all the way back down to 0.002. And that's where I would come in heavy and hard. But I could only pray that we get to that price again. Let me check the comments here. Let's see what is up. Carl is in the house. Yay! Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad you're here, Carl. Carl is one of our folks that is in the esteemed private group. Round of applause. Carl, the one who gives excellent reports. I mean, he knows his stuff. He's been filling me in on some great due diligence, and he brings a lot of value to the private group. Who else do we have here? AXL10? Yay! Okay. So ETH to $1,000 according to Da Vinci. Now, Da Vinci is a complete and total dodo bird. Yeah, he bought Bitcoin at $1, but this guy, man, I don't trust anything he says. He's associated with Carl from the moon. They had that scam coin project they did during the last bull run. I'll check in with Da Vinci every now and then, but he just strikes me as a lucky idiot. It was great that he did have the foresight to buy Bitcoin when it was $1. I knew about Bitcoin at $1, and I thought, that's cool. I should get some of this, and I didn't get it. What's up, Joshua in the house? Yay! Yay! Still holding those bags. Now is the time to buy. Okay, so anyway, $1,000 ETH. Let's go back to the ETH chart. Let me just jump backwards real quick and put it on the 1 week and see if there's any evidence for... No, man, that's just not going to happen. The red dashed line, the second red dashed line for ETH is at 12. I don't know. Even the point of control here, 1,600. The point of control price on this visible range here, I don't see it going below 16, but I could be wrong, all right? But the biggest volume node right there at 16, and the rock bottom 12, and I guess he's based in it. right here. You see this dip here? There would be firm market structure at 1,073. So I won't say never. I mean, it's possible. But for that to happen, we're going to have to see the tariff scare drag on for quite a bit more time. It's going to have to continue into March. All right. And March is when the second rally is normally going to happen. We're going to see a pivot in March. But for a $1,000 ETH, we're going to need a week or two in the beginning of March for the tariff scare to continue. And, you know, it's all good. It doesn't scare me. The lower it goes, the more furniture I'm going to sell in my house. We're going to have a garage sale in a minute here. Okay, that's about to happen. All right, so let's get back to XEN. So what I was saying here, if XEN... well, it violated the 1.4 price, so we're out of that range now. We're headed down to 1.1 cent. Let this be a lesson to all of the people who swore there's no way XEN could ever come back down after the big run that it made. No way, because it's just going to go straight to the moon. And that's what you hear from all the majority of people, the retail people that jump into the market and don't have the experience from prior bull markets. You know, I've been investing since the dot-com bubble burst back in 1999, year 2000, Y2K. I jumped into crypto in 2016. So I did the 2017 bull market peak. I did the 2021 bull market peak, and then we're coming up on my third one. I've seen capitulations. I've seen after the bull runs where altcoins give up 98, 99% of the gains. And then even within the bull markets, I've seen 80% capitulations happen. It's history, guys. It's just what happens. So just let this be a lesson for the next time somebody tries to tell you that it's all going straight to the moon and never coming back down again. Now, I will say that this will probably be the last deep capitulation that we see. I don't think the next one, there might be one in May or June, and then the market will probably roar this summer, and then we'll have one last little bearish blip, and then we should go into the bull run sometime around early October or November. Okay, so back to some of these other plays on Coinbase. Let's look at B3. B3, I jumped on it a little too early. I've got a DCA price. Let me see what my DCA is on B3. I'm at 0.008, and that's not bad. I mean, I've only got like 35,000 of it. So B3 is looking like it could jump down to this base level right here. Look for a touchdown of a half a cent. Half a cent's a nice little price for me. I might get some more. I'm not going to get crazy because B3 is pretty new. It is a cool project, though. It's on the base chain. It's a gaming project. And I do think that it's got a great potential upside, and it has very heavy volume. So B3 is a fun one. It's right there on Coinbase. You can flip it on base chain and trade it for zero fees if you're using something like Uniswap V3 or your TANGEM app. Base chain trading is cheap. That's where you want to go for swing trading. I used to do a lot of my swing trading on Polygon, but guys, Polygon network is just dead. The action is just dried up on Polygon, and now all of my swing trade meme plays and projects that I'm getting in and out of, they're either on base chain or I'm just having to watch the gas fees on Ethereum and just play the flips like Grok on Ethereum. Now, right now, let me check the GUI rate because it's been doing pretty good. We're at 1.6 GUI. Wow, that's not bad. So if you want to do some flipping on ERC20, now's the time to do it. While the GUI rate is so low. All right, let's do some more on the Coinbase plays, and you can let me know if there's a project you want me to mention here, and I'll take a look at the chart. So mobile, look at that. Would y'all look at that? Just look at it. Mobile is diving below the bottom support level. Let me jump to the 1 week chart. It's in reverse price discovery. I've got a bag of mobile. This is Helium Mobile. It is the it's like your gas token for helium, okay? And there's a big supply of it, but there's a high volume. And I've got a nice bag. I probably got 150,000 of it. I'll probably double up on that. This is a pretty decent price, 3 zeros and a 4. We'll wait until we see where a bottom point is. And once we see a reversal, I'm going to double that bag. Okay, we did turbo. DGen. Where are the DGens? We're sitting at the bottom of DGen at 0.0035. If we violate that, look out. Look out below, because there's nothing. I don't see any price history below that, because this chart here dates back into 2024. I know that it's been around longer. I'll have to find a different chart. I think this is the Coinbase chart. My nephew Jeffrey, Crypto Pro Jeffrey, held DGen before it was even on Coinbase. So we'll have to look at a different chart to find out what the rock bottom prices are for DGen. I am a DGen degenerate. Another one on Coinbase that I'm looking at is ACS. I'd like to see a price of 0.0013. I will increase my bag at that point. Now, here's another one on Coinbase, VTHOR. VTHOR is the gas token for the VeChain network, and I've been swing trading VTHOR since 2017. All right? I was going to buy it right here, and I waited too long, and it pumped, and let's just see how much it pumped. We had a nice 384% gain that I could have swing traded, and I was like, dang, I missed it. And I told myself if it gets back down to this base, then I'm going to get it. Now it's within my strike zone. I could buy it right now, but since we're looking so bearish and we have a bearish cross on the stochastic about to happen, we have a red bar on the histogram falling away from the zero line, I can wait a few days and see if we can get the bargain basement price down here at 0.0021. And then we got the big fat node hanging out at 0.0019, and then the rock bottom level of 0.0017. And if the market just bleeds out, we might get to 0.0013. So that's VTHOR. Another great project, XYO. I bought and sold this many times. Excellent project. Look it up. It's into geo mining. If we can drop this sucker all the way down to this point of control price of 0.06, I'm jumping back in. It's going to go back up, guys. I mean, like I said in the title, this is where you separate the men from the mice. There's Mog. There's Bonk. Suey. Look at Suey, man. Suey. Piggy, come to mama. Suey could drop down to $2.33. The bottom point. Point of control is $1.77, and then we got the 1.6 top level of the bottom base, and then this node at $1. I don't see it going below $1. If it hits $1, I'm gonna get a bag. I do like the Sui is a Sui, however you say it. It's a serious project. All right, so that one is in the sights. Now, Jasmine. I had Jasmine, a bag of Jasmine at a half a cent back in the good old days, and I got hacked. So ever since then, I said, I'm done. I'm not buying it ever again. But then I started to think, well, after this run all the way up to 5 cents, I said, if it can come back down below 2 cents, I'm going to look at getting a bag. And now we got a bearish cross here on the stochastic, and it could come down to a bargain basement price of 1.5 cents. If it violates that, I'm definitely going to get a bag. So Jasmine is looking good. Let's look at ADA, Cardano. My sister-in-law is a big Cardano bullish person. That's her biggest bag. I'm not excited about it, but there is one thing I would like to do with Cardano. I would like to pump my gains into Cardano. I'm looking into the possibility of shipping everything to Cardano and then selling off at the bull market peak from Cardano to avoid paying a capital gains tax, because we know that President Trump has stated that no taxes on US-based crypto projects, no capital gains tax. The question is, if I make a ton of gains all year and then I sell it off and buy it into ADA and then sell that bag, do I get away with no taxes, or do I have to pay on the gains that I made along the way? That is to be determined. We'll be talking about that in the private group. Okay, let me check the comments section and see what you guys are saying and see if you have any questions. YGG, I don't know what that is. Let's see, YGG. It's not on my radar. Okay, 21 cents and moving down. 1 day chart. I don't know. I know nothing about this at all, so I can't give you any insight other than the fact that it's going down. And if it violates this 11 cents price, it's going to be in reverse price discovery. So you'll have to educate me on that one. Sorry, I can't help much with it. Moving right along. Swift, yes. We talked about Swift. Joshua was saying that Swift coin, a 1 cent price is what I'm looking at to maybe grab another 50,000. I've already got 100,000 Swift coin. I bought in at 0.002. I was going to double it at 0.004, and I waited, and I ran to 4.5 cents, at which point I was going to sell the whole bag, buy back down low. I got cold feet. I didn't do it. Could have traded that in for $4,500, and I didn't. But it's all good because now that the price is coming down, load up again. Why not? So, yeah, Swift coin, just scroll back on the replay, and you'll see the TA on Swift coin. Okay, so Gotcha says, I feel like Myro is going to pump hard in a few months. And it could. It could. Let's go back to that Myro chart. And I'll tell you what I need to see before I decide to roll the dice on it, because, like I said, this is a very dangerous play. Let's go to the 1 day. Look at this support resistance. Now, see, with this stochastic rising like that, a parabolic rise on the stochastic and no rise in the price, that means that you're going to go lower. And so the bottom of this support resistance zone is at 1.3, 1.4 cents. If it falls below that, yeah, I might gamble with a little bit. It's not going to be much. But since we still have good volume, we talked about this. Look at the volume. 24-hour trading volume is at $9.5 million. That's still a lot for a project that has been abandoned. And you never know. Maybe the devs will come back. Maybe somebody else takes it over. But the market cap is only 18 million. The 24-hour trading volume is at half the market cap. So if you're going to gamble, you know, I mean, this is a degenerate gamble. Let's just pull up some longer charts. Good Lord, it went to 41 cents. And now, yeah. Okay, so let's jump it back to the Bitcoin chart. We're at 79, and we're at the bottom of the candle. Holy moly. In the beginning of the live stream, I was telling you guys that we were wicking back up, so it was slowing up. The momentum was slowing down, but now it's speeding back up. So looking at the 4 hour, yeah, we got another red candle forming, a definite crossover going back to the oversold zone. On the 1 hour, it unfurled. We're already in the oversold zone. So, yeah, we're about to head for the CME gap. We're going to get the CME gap in moments. It's coming. And then we can wait to see if we hit this blue line. So let's zip to the 1 week chart and talk about this blue line again. I'm going to have to adjust this extension because this extension is no longer valid because we see that the 50 EMA is leveling off. So we need to change it and at least make it level because this stochastic is nasty. You see this? It's pointing down and we are equidistant in between the fast line, which is the blue line, and the slow line, which is the orange line. When they are equidistant and we have this gap and they're both pointing straight down, that means momentum is strong in that direction, and this direction is straight down. Looking on the lagging oscillators, there's your crossover, a confirmation on the lagging MACD oscillators, and a deep solid red bar on the histogram as we are falling away from the zero line fast. Okay, so Bitcoin is going to the toilet. We are going straight to the toilet. We're going to flush this big turd down. I think the turd goes down the drain after we get through the CME gap, and then we can find out if we test the blue line. All right, so the 50 EMA It should cross the 50 EMA right at or below. I think it's going to have to be below the CME gap. We'll probably cross the 50 EMA at 76K. And then we have this blue line. So what's this blue line all about? Well, let me tell you what the blue line is all about. It's about market structure. What is market structure, you ask? Well, that's when you have, I sounded like Ronald Reagan. Well, Nancy, let me explain it. We had this run back in February of last year. And then we came on up and we hit resistance at this descending purple line, which is very similar to the descending green line. And we continued to bump our head on that. We formed this wedge, a widening wedge that was descending, which is a bull flag. It's a type of bull flag. Sometimes they make a pennant, a descending pennant, which is very obvious. And this is a widening wedge, okay? And then it shoots off. So after it shoots off and we find support at the purple line, it goes up, makes a parabolic run. So market structure is now created from the peak of the previous consolidation move. That's the peak of this bull flag, all right? So here's the pole, here's the flag. Top of the flagpole is right there. And that would suggest that there is strong market structure at the blue line. So let's say you're building a building, a skyscraper, a tower, a 3-story building, whatever. And this is the roof right here. So we can build our next floor, but it's got to come on roof of the previous floor. That's what market structure is. You can't build a solid structure up here higher than the roof or lower than the roof. It's going to be right at this base roof level. So that is a healthy market level, a healthy market structure. If you fail that, forget about it. I don't know what could happen. We would have to extend the purple line, and that would be ugly. If we fail market structure, we're going to look for this volume node at 68K. That's the worst of the worst case scenario. If everyone is just scared half out their minds because of the tariffs, and then all world markets take another big fat grizzly bear dump, and that flush could push us to 68K. But I think that the blue line, we have solid market structure, and there is a price node that magically coincides with this blue line. See this node? We have a slip zone. I always talk about a slip zone, okay, where you have less volume. Now, the VPVR, for the people that don't know what this is, it's a different way to look at volume. This is regular volume. How much volume buying and selling occurs on a certain day? Like on Monday, the 11th of November, 2024, you had this much buying and selling, and there was more buying than selling, so the candle is green, the histogram candle, all right, the bar. Now, for another example, on Monday, the 16th, December 2024, you had this much volume of buying and selling, and there was more selling than buying. So the bar on the histogram is red, all right? So what's this over here? Well, this is how much is bought and sold at a particular price, not a date. So in all the history of time, how much Bitcoin was sold, bought and sold between 66,700 and 69,944. Well, it's this much. You had the blue, which is the amount of, I think, the buying, and the gold is the amount of selling. All right. So there are institutional investors. There are what we call the machines that have predetermined points that they will buy and sell, where it's the algorithms that control the trading. And they say, hey, if we get down to this certain price point, buy a crap ton of Bitcoin. That's why this volume node is sticking out. There are machines that bought a lot at the price level of the blue line. Those machines said, hey, if we get to this certain price level here, sell a crap ton of Bitcoin. And boom, the machines sell. And then boom, the machines sell. They keep selling right in the thick of this node. And then they change their formulas and they say, all right, the next time we get to this node, buy a bunch of it. Boom. And it vaults up from that point. Now, these little nodes in between are where there aren't a lot of automated trading bots buying and selling. You don't see BlackRock and Goldman Sachs and MicroStrategy, or it's just strategy now. You don't see them buying and selling a whole lot of Bitcoin at these prices, but they bought and sold a crap ton at 95K. Let's scroll this up. So this is the biggest node here at 96K. So that's what tells us where the supports and the resistances are. The VPVR is a very powerful tool, and I live by it. I love the VPVR. When you go down below a certain price point where there's a big node, like this node here at 96K, when you fail this node, that means price is going to probably plummet because you get into the slip zone, and it's going to fall fast and hard until it finds the next volume node, which is this one right here or this one right here. Those become support levels. So price tends to race in between the big fat nodes. So once we consolidated and we sat in this thick of these nodes here, we got into a reverse slip zone and we shot up. And then a ton of buying went on at this point. Okay. And then that paves the way for the future to know what's going to happen. We knew if we fell off of this node, it would be a sell-off, and we won't find good solid support until you get to the next node. All right. So that explains that. And now the question is, are we going to have a wick? Or are we going to mess around and find a base and wait a while before we launch? Where was the last time that we had that flash crash and it was just a wick? I think it was this one right here, right there. Let's look at the 1-day chart. Well, first let's get the date. It was on August the 5th of 2024. So let's jump back into August. All right, August the 5th, 2024. Here it is. See this wick right here? That was a scary day, but it crashed and came right back up. We didn't linger, okay? Sometimes you have a crash where you linger, okay? And we would have to go way back, way back. Let's go way back and find where you have a crash where things linger. Here we go. We're going to have to go all the way back to the crash after the bull market of 2017. So you crashed and then you lingered and you had your new accumulation period after the final. This is distribution, capitulation, accumulation. There are 4 cycles in every market. You have accumulation, that's down here. You have consolidation, where it starts to bump up a little bit. You have markup, that's the bull run. And then you have distribution, that's the sell-off, all the way down. All right? After that, you had a ping pong ball going boop, 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 bouncing on the table. Then it fell off the end of the table. That was a capitulation point. And now you enter into the next cycle. Accumulation, consolidation, markup. That's your bull run. And then we had this double deal here. You had a double markup. Interesting market, that cycle that we had in 2021. And then distribution. There's your sell-off. And what happens next? Accumulation, consolidation. Now we're in the consolidation phase, all right? And consolidation takes us all the way up through here, and then we're going to have our bull run probably in the fall. That's my prediction. Let's jump back to the comments and see what you guys have to say. So Nathan's in the house. What up, Nathan?
Yay! Yay!
He says, oh, snap. Are we not looking good? Or are we buying or selling? Well, I'm waiting and then I'm buying. I mean, I like these events. Make sure you watch the complete replay because I told you all the points where I'm looking to buy. All right? And this is where we separate the men from the mice. So when everybody's in a panic, that's where you buy. I pray for times like this. I love red markets. I love capitulations. I love market sell-offs. I love world panic. That's when you get all the stuff that you missed from the previous run. It's an opportunity. Most people like to buy into runs. That's what we saw on XCN. You get all of these nitwits out there and sit around paying no attention to stuff down here in accumulation, and then all of a sudden we get a run. And what do? They come running in. Oh, ACN's going to the moon. I'm going to just jump right in here at 3.5 cents. Some people bought all the way. There's folks that I know of that were in the comment section telling me that they bought nearly at 5 cents. Let me give you a lesson. It's a rule. I always stick by this rule. I've been teaching it for 5 years. Never buy into a run. If something's gone parabolic like this, you're too late. You're too late. And what you should do is apply the next rule. When you miss out on a run, wait, because they always come back down to get you. You know, it's like the chariot's going to swing low. Swing low, sweet chariot. It's going to come down to pick you up, which it's doing right now. All right? So never buy into a run. Always wait, because they always come back down to get you. And then here's another rule that I always teach. Never, never, never buy when the stochastic is above the 80 line. It's easy, guys, but people don't do it. All right? Let's just look at this chart here. You don't buy XCN when you're up here in this zone. You buy it when it's below the 20 line and oversold. How simple is that? But guess what? Whenever you get below the 20 line, everybody is panicking. It's like, the market is going to the toilet. It's never come back again. It's the end of everything, end of the world. But the rule says buy when you're below the 20 line. It's what you do, especially when you're on the 1 week chart. So let's look at Swift Coin. Look at Swift Coin. All the nitwits were buying when the stochastic was up high. People were buying on this peak, buying on this peak, buying on this peak up here at the top, above the 80 line. You had people buying at above 4 cents. Look at here. When it's below the 20 line, what was the price? Price was at 0.005. All right. Now, I bought when it was down here. So what was the price? No, it was even before that. I bought way back here. So price was, it was before that. I bought at 0.002. But anyway, where you would have wanted to buy Swift Coin is here, here, maybe here, even though it's above the 20 line, here, and here. Not here, not here, and definitely not here. So here we are. This is where you buy. It doesn't matter if it goes lower. So what if it goes lower? Do you think it's going to make a hill of beans difference if you buy Swift Coin at 1.2 cents and it goes to a half a cent? What do you think Swift Coin is going to be at the bull market peak? What do you think it's going to be? I mean, come on, guys. Swift Coin could be 30 cents, 50 cents, maybe $1. So do you think it will hurt your feelings if you bought at 1.2 cents and watched it go to 0.005 when you're able to sell off at 30 cents? No, it doesn't make a hill of beans difference. Let's look at the Bitcoin chart again at the stochastic. It's below the 20 line. This is where, oops, let me click it. This is where you buy. There's the answer in the back of the book. Look at the 1 week chart. On the 1 week chart, it's dipping down. If it gets into oversold on the 1 week chart and you don't buy, well, hey, that's your fault, for being hard-headed and not listening. That's a rule that you can abide by. And then when you get into swing trading, you look at let's just look at some swing trading I did. Let's look at, where is it? Let's pull up base chain. We're going to look at Toshi. All right. So I'll show you how I swing trade. You buy here. So here, Toshi was down at 3 zeros and a 1. And then all of a sudden it gets into the above the 80 line. Well, sell. That was at 0012. So what would have been your gain if you just buy and sell using my simple rule? Well, you would have been sitting on, at this price when it was at the stochastic peak. You would have been sitting not at the all-time high, but at 1.0012, you would have been up 849%. Now, if you were a real hot dogger, you could have hung on for 1,087% for a 10x, and then it sells off. But whatever the case, sell off once it gets above the 80. It's going to go higher, but you're going to sell and you're going to make your gains. Let the other people hand it off. Let some other people hold it and sell it before it dips back down below. And that's what happens during the bull market, the bull run. People hold too long and they seem to think that they can time the cycle, time the market and sell at the all-time high. And you can't do that because right after the peak, it's going to go down so fast and hard, your orders aren't going to fill, and you're going to have to put orders that are well below the market price in order to get it filled. And so there's people that buy at the bull market peak, or they try to sell at the bull market peak, they go over the peak price, and then they chase it all the way back down to the bottom, and they look stupid. So you don't want to look stupid. Set your goals now and get out. Just look at the stochastic and sell when it's high. You know, for Caspa, if it gets to $1, if it gets to $5, if it gets to $10, I'll start selling in chunks. I'll set the goals where I'm going to sell 20% of the bag at $1, sell another 20% at $2.50, sell another 20% at $5, sell another 20% if it goes $7.50. That way, if I miss the market cycle peak and it starts to come down, I've already got the maximum gain. So then I can sell it and still get rid of the rest of the bag and take profits. Most people will be greedy and they hold and ask me how I know. It's because I did that. I did that in 2017, and then in 2021, I did the same thing. I'm not doing it this time. I'm not doing it. The 2021 peak, when it did that double deal, that threw everybody off. Honest mistake. It can happen. And that's why I'm setting my goals now, and I'm not going to be sitting around waiting to time it at the absolute peak to sell off the bags. That is not going to happen. Well, anyway, swing trading. Let's look at some of the other memes. You know, I bought Grok here, sold it up there. What did I tell you about micro? I DCA'd it until I got a 1 cent price. Average price was here. I sold it right there. That was a double. So I'll admit, I'm buying all the way down to the bottom of this. I started buying at 1 point something cents as we were about to dive into oversold. And I said I'll buy during this entire time that we're down here below the 20 line. So I kept buying, and the cheapest purchase was at, I think, 0.006. And then as soon, you know, it didn't even make it to above the 80 line. And I sold because I saw this descending resistance line, and I was like, that's good enough for me. I sold. And then it crossed over. Then it bumped up again. But look, the next peak of the stochastic returned a lower high. So that turned out pretty good. Usually it'll make a higher high, and you'll leave some money on the table. But hey, I took the gains. All right. Overall, I made a double. So I ended up buying $100 worth, sold it all out for like $225. I think I made $125 on a small swing trade. I didn't get rich off of that. I got people in my private group that are dropping 5K, 10K, 20K, 30K at a time. You know, one of our hot doggers in the group, he had an $80,000 spending night just the other night and got some good purchases made at some rock bottom prices, and he's still playing the DCA game. That's how you do it. He's already a millionaire, though. So once this market cycle peak hits, oh, good Lord, he's going to make a lot of money just from doing the DCA game. So I plan on swing trading the market all throughout the summer and into the fall to build up my positions so they're going to have more to sell off during the bull run. And in the private group, it's 50 USDT a month for the silver. For the gold, it's 100. You get to know all of my purchase orders and all of my sell orders. You get to chat in the group. You get to hear all of the experts like Carl give an outstanding commentary. Everyone chips in. And if you're a gold member, I'm going to give you some phone calls. You know, we'll talk at least once a month if you're a gold member. And we'll share ideas. And so the value is in the private group is that I'm sharing the TA and my research and confirming what, you know, people can see in the charts and say, hey, I'm seeing a dip in this chart. Is this right? And then I go over the nitty gritty. I give all the updates, and then I tell you what I'm buying and selling. So that's the value I bring to the private group. Link is in the description if you want to look into that. We've got about 10 people in the group. I'll probably cap it at 20. And then shut it down. I think after May or June, I don't want to get too busy with it, because I got a lot going on. I've got 5 businesses that I juggle. And after a certain point, you know, right now I need to make money for the opportunity cost, the time I spend away from my consulting business, my body shop, and everything else that I do. And I want to provide real value to my members. That's my goal. And so thus far, everybody's pretty happy, and I'm happy to serve my awesome private group members. Shout out to y'all. And a round of applause, because you are the best of the best of the best, and they're serious investors. We don't have people in here that are trying to, you know, invest $10 and become a millionaire. if you're trying to invest in the market and you can't afford to pay your bills, look elsewhere. This is not the place for you. You shouldn't be investing at all. Back to the comment section, and then we'll probably wrap it on up. XRP and QNT and HBAR. Yeah, HBAR, my sister-in-law is big into HBAR. I don't have a bag, but that's a good project. I mean, I can't blame anybody for having a position on HBAR. It's sitting at the 200 EMA. That's not bad at 18 cents. Dang, I should have bought it. The last time I held it was at 4 or 5 cents. I think I sold it 6 cents. I should have kept it. If it does capitulate, it could hit 13.9 cents and the bottom level back down to 6 cents. But HBAR is a good project. It's going to run. It's going to run hard. Looking at the 1 week, ew. Gee whiz. So it looks like we got market structure at that 14 cents level. HBAR is pretty cool. What else did you say? We talked about XRP. QNT, yeah, that's a good project. Let's see what it's doing. QNT on Binance, sitting at 90 bucks. All right. Let's look at the week chart. QNT is pretty solid. It's not going to go much below, say, 56 bucks, I think would be the bottom point. Quant, that's Quant, right? So pretty rock solid project. Let's see here. The stock RSI. So I don't do the RSI, I just do the stochastic. Some like the stochastic RSI. I like the plain stochastic, but yeah, you call it 1433 is what I use. The smoothing at 3 is a lot better. There's too much noise at 1. So, yeah, 1433, that's my favorite. Very good question. Very good question. And I'm going to be doing a course for the members. They're going to be my guinea pigs. I'm going to do my basics of how I use the stochastic, the MACD, and the on-balance volume, and then Bollinger Bands and the VPVR for all of my decisions. Very basic, very simple. And how I read the charts, market structure. We might even cover a little bit of Fibonacci. I used to be big on the Fib circles, but Fib circles are hard to do. Fibonacci retrace is a good tool that you can use to find out where bottoms are going to be. So when I do that course, all of the members are going to be my guinea pigs. They're going to get that video course. And then when I do start the training course, the full-fledged course, it'll be $250 a person. It'll be live training. There'll be 10 people at a time. So stay tuned for that. So anyway, my good people, that is all that we've got today. So thanks for joining me. Y'all are the greatest. Shout out to you. And stay tuned because we will have more coming up very soon as we watch for the CME gap to fill. We'll be there for all the blood in the streets, and we'll catch it all. Keep you posted. See y'all soon. I'm out.